I'm Dr. David Skidmore and I'm Head of Biology and Environment at Glyndŵr University. Well, I started off learning the timetables like everybody else does, and it's not an easy thing to do, but once I'd learnt those, I was able to move on to slightly more difficult problems. Sometimes they were great to do, sometimes they were much more difficult to do. But of course, the more you do maths, the more practice you have, the better you become at it. Now, I realised all the time that I was doing these that the maths was connecting back to the great mathematicians, ancient times, the Arabian mathematicians and the Greek mathematicians. So a great development of knowledge in mathematics. What we've got here is some fish that come from Africa, and they're called cichlids, and they're very interesting fish. They interact in different ways and they actually have territories, and what we're going to try and do in this research project is determine where the territories are within a tank. Now, what you will need to do is observe the fish, count how many times they interact with each other so that you're looking at the boundaries. Then what I want you to do is go back to the lab and map out on the computer the data that you've recorded about the interactions of those fish. What I'd like you to do is do it for about an hour. You take down the numbers of figures during that hour of those interactions, and then I'd like you to come back on 3 different days to look at that, to see if the data changes on a daily basis. And that way we can map out the territories, and we can find out a lot about the kind of area that these fish would need in a nature reserve.
My name is Dr. Tamsin Young, and I'm Programme Leader for the BSc Honours Equine Science and Welfare Management degree at Glyndŵr University. Within an equine setting, the variety of examples where numeracy is important, from measuring the height of the horse to measuring the weight of the horse to calculating the horse's daily diet ration, and within the training sense to measuring out distances between poles or between jumps, and also in the office keeping records. Maths is used within all of those different settings and probably a lot more. So an example of where we could use maths on the equine yard would be in weighing our horses in order that we can formulate their ration. That's the amount of food that we would provide them with on a daily basis. Once we know their weight, we can then calculate their daily ration according to their weight and adjust it as the months go by. So this is the feed room, and here we have a store of feed, and we also have the feed board here in front of us, where we have a list of our horses and the different amounts of the various feed that they should be provided with each day. Well, my advice to school children whilst they're studying maths is to really try and conquer it and try and master it, because obviously in later life it's going to be used in a variety of settings, whether it's on an equestrian yard like this or elsewhere in their career path.